Hello everybody. This is I am the FUI guy, farming under the influence guy. Obviously not recommended in real life. This is my first video, so congratulations for tuning in. Um, here at Farming Under the Influence Guy Industries, I'll play some Farming Simulator 22 games with you, have some tips, some tricks, and just some regular old farming. And if I have a beer or two under the gameplay, well, then I do. Here, I've just started a new farmer mode um, with no modifications or nothing like that on the French map, which I am going to ruin the name, Hot Baileron, quite possibly pronouncing that horribly. Anyways, if you're new to the game, when you go into new farmer mode, they will give you this option to have a short guided tour, which if you've never played the game before, I highly recommend. It gives you a lot of basic information with what does what and stuff like that. As you can see here, there it is, telling you again that you can take the tour later. There's also a ton of information online from other streamers. Giants themselves does a pretty good job with it, and all that fun stuff. So here we are, looking at our new farm. They will have given us a couple tractors. I'm going to get rid of this help menu so you guys don't see that. So we have ourselves a Massey Ferguson 3670 here. We'll just hop in and attach some stuff to it so it's not laying around on the ground by itself. They've given us a Valtra. It appears that it also has a seeder with it. Let's attach all this stuff as well. And a stack with trailer. And then we have a truck, which we will get rid of. I'll explain that to you shortly. And we have a Deutz combiner. So, with starting off in a new map, in new farmer mode, they have given us quite a bit of stuff. So you will always tell what land you own because it's indicated with the blue lettering. So we own all this as well as this. And when you click the button, you can see that this is all owned. If we wanted to sell it, we could sell individual pieces. These are one piece, but we can sell these two. We're not gonna. That would be silly. Also, we have our filters on the right side of the screen here, which tells us what crops we have. In this indication here, crops 1, crops 2 for grass. Here we have growth stages. So this field here has been harvested. So it'll still need to be mulched, plowed, whatever else might need to be done. This field's been cultivated, so it is ready to be seeded. This field here, as indicated by the orange, showing that it is ready to harvest. So we'll probably harvest that here fairly early on. The next step would be to look to see whether or not you need fertilizer, lime, rolling, mulch. If you scroll down on these menus, you can actually enable or disengage certain things like need lime. Say you are trying to fertilize and that is blocking you out, you can get rid of it so that you can actually see what you fertilized and what you haven't. Handy trick, took me far too long to find out that that was possible. But anyway, so that's good for that. Soil composition, other than that, we have where our equipment is. Again, you can turn tools off, you can turn loading stations off, whatever you can kind of figure this out. You can do everything you need. You can turn your house off. And then back to that. Now, one thing I would recommend if you are going to start on this mode, and if you want to get a few extra bucks in the bank account right off the hop, I would sell things that you don't need. This silo, we're going to need that. This here would be for silage. We're probably not going to do that at the moment. So you could make some money by if you go into your construction menu, and then if you click on it, it's not a lot, but we could get an extra 12 grand, save some space. I don't intend on using silage by packing it this way. I find in this game you can have a lot of trouble picking it up. That sounds silly, but it just doesn't work that well. I think if you're going to do silage, you either get a modification for a silo that does it for you, or you do bales, personally. So I'm going to sell that guy, get us an extra few dollars. Another option for selling is you could sell the farmhouse. Here we can sell this guy and make 175 grand. That's a pretty good chunk of change. Let's see what we have for other farmhouses first. So you get the same one, or if you wanted to, you could go buy this mobile home. But I don't think we're in that, mode. We're not strapped for cash to that extent. You could sell, oh darn. You could sell this little water tank here. We're not going to be using it at the moment. That's for, animals and stuff where you would need it. 1,500 bucks, we'll just hang on to it. This building here is a hay loft. So this building you'll be able to store hay and straw, loose straw. It won't store bales or anything like that. You could sell it and get $31,000, which is fairly reasonable. I'm going to leave it for now because it depends how you want to do this. If you plan on buying a baler and baling your straw or baling grass, then by all means sell this. You don't need it. It's going to get you nothing. The other alternative is if you just want to use a wagon to pick up the loose straw or hay or grass, then you need that hayloft for storage. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you go into where are we at here? Ford's wagon. So if you were to buy one of these guys, what it would do is it has a pickup just like a baler would. It'll shoot it all into this thing here, and then you would just have to cart it back and forth between here. And then when it's full, or when you want to sell, you just load into that Ford's wagon and ship it off to whatever facility you need. The other option is some actual trailers will, as you see on the bottom there with all the fruits and stuff moving around, you can see there is straw, hay, and silage and grass there, as well with all your other cereal crops and manure, lime, everything else like that. So I'm personally going to hang on to it because I don't know if I want to bale or not. The other option for if we're kind of going through beginner how-tos here, when you go into this menu, which on a PlayStation is your big button in the middle, you can break down the equipment by name. I don't really use that option. If you cycle down by hitting R1, it'll break it down by type of equipment, which is much better. Then you can look, oh, I need a medium tractor. Here's your medium tractors. Here's your attachments. They call them tools, but it would be an attachment. So it'd be the trailer or a header for a combine, plows, mulchers, which we'll need at some point, rollers in this game, which you have to have and you can't turn on or off. So everything's in this menu. Objects, big pallets. That'd be fertilizer, seed, stuff like that. You can do wheat and oats and stuff. And you see on here it says chicken feed on the logo. Here's more of a horse feed. We got pig feed, road salt, so on and so forth. I wouldn't use salt much. Here, packs. This page is super underrated. If you are new to this game and you're curious about what you need to do certain things, come to this page. I recently just did a grapes one, where I had never done grapes before, didn't know what I needed, so I just bought stuff off this page and used it, and you can go through it. I can put up a video on that later. But anyways, this page is great for giving you what you need for each crop. So I highly recommend looking at it and using it. So you can see we already have a combine, we have a trailer, we have a seeder and a cultivator. So we have everything we need for grain crops. This piece here is the used equipment sale. So this would be anything that's used. Every day it changes. You can get stuff for cheap. You do have to repair it once you've bought it. And it is not worth nearly as much if you resale or for resale. That being said, you can get a lot of really cheap equipment, good equipment in there. So always look every single day if you can. Moving along, this is your owned items. So this is what we have. This is something I'll probably sell, is this truck for $37,000 I'm never going to use, but we'll hang on for now. So you can always come in here and check. One very important thing you should do before buying equipment is make sure you have equipment that can tow said equipment. For example, let's say we wanted to buy a seeder and we thought, well, this seeder looks awesome, right? Woo-wee, look at that. Big seeder, as you can see on the left, it holds a whole bunch of stuff. It weighs 10 tons and it requires 300 horsepower to effectively use properly. So let's say we bought that and we hadn't looked at our owned equipment and we hadn't found out that we only have a tractor at 190 horsepower. We would not be able to tow that seeder. Just make sure you're always kind of looking to make sure that you don't buy something you shouldn't, because that would be no fun. Okay, next, leased items. For this video, I'm not going to lease any items. I'll make it a little harder on myself and you have to buy. And here's where you do your construction, farmland, which would be landscaping, change your person, and buy animals. Again, I won't touch on animals too much in this video. It's just a basic kind of showing the ropes for this episodes that I'm making. Okay, now that I think I got the majority of the basics out, I guess I can go to the other page, which on the PlayStation is your options button. Here, I showed you this screen already. If you scroll down, it's just active workers. You can hire workers to plow fields, cultivate, take equipment from one place to the next, stuff like that. Here's your crop calendar. It'll show you all the crops, when you can and can't plant them, and when you have to harvest them. As you can see, it's got a little legend. Planting season is green, harvest is orange, and your time in between, you can kind of get your field ready for the next crop. Next is your weather. It's not a huge thing, really. What does matter is if you harvest during rain, it'll ding you on your yield. So don't do that. It'll warn you when it's happening too, so just avoid it if you can. Prices, this is where all your prices for everything that you can sell is. It also has a good indication of what's what, so now you can see that symbol is straw. And it shows you where you can sell them. If you hit square, it'll show you the price fluctuations, so you can tell if you're in a good time to sell or not. So currently we're in August. Oops. So August is about the worst time you can sell wheat. So if you had a bunch of wheat, maybe hold off till January when it's higher. This is an equipment overview. It just shows you what you have, what it's worth, if it needs repair, stuff like that. This is your finances page. This would be where you would take out a loan. You can take out loans and you can repay loans. They do ding you interest, obviously. It also breaks down what you've done, like how much you've sold per month, and stuff like that. Here's the animal page. It'll only show you animals if you have pens, which I don't. Contracts. Here's a big way to make money if you're, because you'll find a lot of extra time on your hands to start the journey of this Farming Simulator 22. So you can borrow equipment by hitting triangle, and that would start the contract. All the equipment you'd need would be available for you at the shop or garage. So then you would just go there. You'd have to buy, in this case, fertilizer, and then you go to our Christophe Rouchot's field and you'd fertilize it, and he'd pay you $26,000 for it. Great way to make extra money. Harvesting contracts are great. You go harvest the field for the guy. Be careful. The contract will say it's complete, and you'll still have product left over if he fertilizes. So you can get some free product out of that. I can post another video on that. I won't get too into it here currently. Production change, you can buy production change here. We won't get into that too much either. It's kind of, like I say, again, a beginner thing. But that would be where you could buy the dairy or something and turn milk into, you know, or yeah, sorry, you could do stuff with it. Statistics, again, here's just a bunch of stuff that I don't ever use, but it tells you how many times you've worked lands, how much you've spent doing what, and here and there. And it's cool if you've played for a month straight and you're just curious how much you've done doing what. Game settings, here we can change our time scale up or down. It's great if you don't have a house, you have to speed up because you can't sleep. The economic difficulty, you can pick it between easy, medium, and hard. Easy is what this game mode starts you on. As you progress up to other game modes, it'll change this accordingly. Traffic you can have on off. Seasonal growth you can have on off. The days per month you can go up all the way up to 28. So you would have to sleep 28 times for the month to go through. Be much more realistic, but you would spend our farm, we'd be sleeping all the time. Snow I'm going to leave on. Crop destruction I'll leave on. Periodic plowing, because we're in the easy mode, it will not tell you to do that. But if you have it on, randomly, especially after like a corn crop, you got to plow it, and that's just the way it is. Field stone, there's stones in the fields. You got to pick them up or they just damage your equipment a little bit. Lime required, as I showed you earlier in the map stage, it said we required lime on all our fields. So we'll have to get some lime. Weeds are on, obviously. All this stuff, you can adjust it kind of as you want to go. I leave the auto engine start on. You can have it where you have to start it, but it doesn't matter. Fuel usage, I will change that to normal just to give us a... And if you hire AI workers and you have this stuff on, they will buy fuel, seeds, fertilizer, slurry, and manure. I personally turn that off and just make sure that I keep them topped up. So if I'm starting someone seeding a field, I will make sure the seeder is full of fertilizer and seed and then send them on their merry way. It does save you some money. Finally, the next one is you have just more options here. I won't go through them too much because they're not crazy. And this is a great menu to be on if you're starting out. It goes through everything you might need to know, like AI workers or what types of crops you have. It goes through all the symbols, maps, and everything. Basically everything I've showed you and a ton more. So I definitely recommend going through this if this is one of your first times. As you can see, there's a ton of options here. Okay, now, oh, it has to save. Sorry. It'll do that. You can set the intervals. I think mine's set for 15 minutes. With our map, let's get underway here quickly. I don't know how long this video's been going, but I got a feeling that we're getting close to the end of it for today. So let's see. Let's start with harvesting. Since we could plant canola, let's actually do that. So I'll show you how to work the AI menu. So this guy is a hired, or will be a hired worker. So first of all, by holding L1, you can then use triangle to select the seed you want. As you can see the seed moving in there. I'm going to go canola. That's canola, which, as you see, in August we can plant canola. Then you would just... I'm going to turn on this menu here because I usually use it and it's confusing me without it, and it'll also help me explain it to you guys a little bit better. Okay. Nope. So, if you hold L1, it'll tell you need to unfold the seeder. So here you go, you're unfolding. Seeder's unfolded. Lower and turn on seeder. Now the tractor will automatically rev up. As you start plowing ahead here, you can see behind you that something's changed. The land has changed. And if you hit circle, a hired hand will start seeding for you. You can see he's seeding because it is slowly going down. The canola seed. Now, if you leave a piece of equipment in his path, for say this combine here, he's going to, there'll be a little prompt that pops up saying, hey, helper, whoever, in this case I think it's F, is an object in his way. Okay, fine. I'll show you that just so you can see it. See, AI worker F is blocked by an object. So to as soon as you get the object out of the way, he will move. Now I'm going to start with this. And this would be your general how to get started. So I went through most of the intro video today here. What I'll probably do is, as we progress through this, I'll make this about a 10 episode thing maybe. I'll start to touch base on some other types of crops, nothing too much. I probably won't get into animals too much, but I'll go through a few things. I'll try to give the best advice I can for my videos, and obviously if you think I've left something out or you want me to talk about something more in particular, let me know and I'll gladly do that. I'm gonna make a bunch of other videos. Again, I'm just starting out, as I said at the beginning. This is my first video, so congratulations for making it through it, and thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I'd like to make a few more just to help out people if they're starting out, or as we progress, getting into more of the more fun stuff. So anyways, I'll stop jibber jabbering, and we'll see you next time. Signing off, FUI guy.